Oh, look at that. Man, gee, that hit hard and was pulling a bit of line. Don't you love it? I'm fishing for bread and butter species. Hi, my name's Roger Osborne. In today's video, I'm fishing for some of those fish species that we all love here in Australia. But first, we've just received an awesome B500K battery from Bluetti. We're so pumped. We're going to have a look at that and then we'll get straight into the fishing. So we're fishing for species like whiting and bream and a bunch of others. And while I'm doing that, I'll be discussing my tactics, showing you my gear, everything that I'm doing so that you can enjoy your fishing as well. Stick around to the end for a free PDF download which will outline some vital keys from today's session. And if you're enjoying my content, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get fishing. For those of you on the Australian East Coast, you'll know all about the crazy weather that hit the entire region earlier this year, causing major power outages and all sorts of damage. In fact, it's unfortunately not uncommon to have big storms here. Thankfully, we'd just been sent the Apex 300 from Bluetti, and it powered our fridge and a couple of other small appliances for 2 days. What we realised though, was while we have an awesome off-grid setup on our rural property, we were not really prepared here. This is where the B500K battery comes in, and coupled with the Apex 300, it brings our available backup power to nearly 8,000 watt hours. What I like about it is pretty simple. Bang for buck. You're getting over 5,000 watt hours of power in one unit. That's a big step up from the B300K. It's like having two batteries in one, which is great value. And we're also pleased to see that it's future-proofed, which is really important. It plugs straight into your AC200s, AC300s, AC500s, and there's no drama if you upgrade later. Everything just works together. Based on our experience, my only advice is to regularly check each unit to make sure the firmware is up to date. You can even scale it up to an insane 100 kilowatt hours. That is absolutely mind-boggling. You could even run a small business off that if you set it up right. Inside, it's built tough. No flimsy wiring you'll get in some other units. It's got a strong internal frame, good cooling, and uses lithium iron phosphate cells, which means it'll keep about 80% of its capacity after more than 3,500 cycles. That's years of use with no worries, and you don't need to be an engineer to appreciate all of that. It just simply means peace of mind. It's also practical. You can mount it to a wall or shelf if you're setting up a home system. At about 45 kilos, it's still pretty manageable. It's got a bit of weight in it, but it's handleable. Soon we'll have the trolley too, which is going to be a huge help. We'll do a follow-up video next month on how we're going with it all, so stay tuned for that. If you're living off-grid, or you're running a caravan setup, or perhaps you'd like some reliable backup power, the Bluetti B500K is a solid investment. Simple, reliable, and heaps of grunt. If you're keen, Bluetti has some mammoth discounts at the moment with their Black Friday sale, which ends on the 28th of November. I've also got a code for you guys that you can use to get a further 5% off, which is on the screen and in the description below. Alrighty, let's go and find some of those beautiful bread and butter fish. So I've popped out early in the morning. Actually, the sun only came up maybe 20-30 minutes ago, so it's relatively early. It's pretty glassy. There's not much wind. It's lovely. And I've positioned myself on the edge of a drop-off. I'm fishing out of the boat this morning, but I'm actually fishing really close to the shore. And the type of fishing that I'm doing, you could fish from a boat or from the land. And it's always an amazing thing. The guys in the land think they need to be out in the deeper water, but all the fishermen in the boats fish on the edge near the shallows. So really, we all, you know, that fringe near the shore where it goes from the shallow to the deep is always a major place to catch fish. I love fishing those areas. I've got some beautiful nippers that I caught, which I'm going to start off with, which are a classic Aussie bait, so readily available. You know, most of our river systems and lakes have an abundance of nippers. So I've got some of them in my bucket, and they are a great bait for a lot of species. Obviously they naturally occur in the estuaries. Going to whack that on. I'm going to leave his nipper on there. Hopefully he doesn't bite me while I'm putting him on the hook. So I've got this beautiful little nipper. Look at that for a bait. Isn't that a cracking bait? Such a lovely bait for bream and whiting, flathead. Pretty much almost nothing will refuse a nipper. So I'm going to toss this out. I've got 2 lines that I've got nippers on. Just going to let them sit out there and do their thing, and then while I'm waiting for them to get me a fish, I'm just going to have some fun and flick a plastic while they're out in the water. So that'll be pretty cool. Just going to toss this guy out first. I'm actually anchored in the deep, casting towards the shore into the shallows. So I'm probably landing in water that's only 2 or 3 feet deep. And I snuck in here. I drove in super quiet in my boat. Don't want to disturb any fish that are potentially... Oh, how quick was that? That was so quick then. I wasn't ready for that. I got a bite straight away, so I know I've lost my bait. I'm going to put another nipper on. Well, actually half of it's gone. So something nailed it straight away. I'll get another one. So I got a bite really while I was just chatting. I'd only just chucked it into the water. Got a bite straight away, so I'm going to whack it straight back out there again. I'm going to leave a little bit of slack. I'm going to put it in the rod holder and let that do its thing, because, well, here comes another boat. It was so peaceful until just now. All right, need another nipper. Get another one and whack him on. That reminds me of my kids' cartoons. Pokemon, whack him on. Man, we used to have Pokemon on in our house all the time. And Beyblades. Do you guys ever heard of them? My boys, mate, they were right into Beyblades. Okay, the boat's drifting around a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my other rod holder, and then I'm going to set up with a soft plastic. That wind has, as often happens when you anchor up, if you get a wind change, it's completely changed, so it's moved my boat out of position. So I'm actually going to need to start up my engine and re-anchor, because I'm not able to fish where I want to fish. It's a completely different direction. So where I was actually anchored out from the shore and swinging back towards the shore so I could cast towards the land and land my baits on the shallow water where it's going into the deep. Now I've swung right away from the shallow water. I'm actually in the opposite direction, and I'm facing out into the deep water, which is not where I want to be. So I'm going to pull my lines in and reposition. But I've actually got a fish on this one. What have I got? It could be a flathead, or is it a bream? What is it? Just a small tarwine, actually. Oh, he bit me. See that little fella there? Look at that. He woofed that nipper. Just put my other line in, and it has no hook. It's quite possible that it was swallowed by a flathead. Interesting. Anyway, I need to reposition, so I'll do that quickly. I'm mindful of being super quiet when I move from spot to spot, because, yeah, I just want to sneak into position. The wind is blowing off the shore now. It's probably going to stay that way, I think. So I've just tied on a new hook because I got bitten off before, and ouch! Oh, that nipper got me. Can you believe that? I was putting my hand in there blind, trying to grab a nipper, and he got me before I could get him. But yeah, I've retied on a new hook. So I think I most likely got bitten off by a flathead before. And so I'm going to put a couple more baits out. and then just have a play with the plastics. Hopefully the wind stays consistent and I don't move around. That would be really good. I'm going to cast a line out either side of the boat. And I'm looking forward to getting that first beautiful eating fish in the water, in the boat. It'd be great. So here we have what we call a nipper or a yabby. I do like to leave the nipper on because it's a real fish attractor. But when you put them on while the nipper's on, you've got to be careful. Now all you do is you start, it's like putting on a prawn. You start at the end and you thread the hook in through its body all the way up until the barb goes into the head, puts it out of its misery pretty quickly. Then I always do a half hitch around the top to help hold it on. So look at that, that's your nipper that's been put on the hook, still got its nipper on there, ready to go. Now I've got one bait out one side of the boat. The boat is kind of wafting around a little bit, but it's going to get that up there. And I'm going to just set this rod down on the floor of the boat. I'm not going to put it in a rod holder because my rod holders are facing the opposite way. Oh, hang on. And now I'm going to have a few flicks with this lure while I've got those baits out there waiting for a fish. I just need to be mindful where my baits are so that I don't hook myself. It's a beautiful morning. I've got some nippers on for bait this morning, which I'm likely to catch bream, mainly bream whiting and flathead. And the soft plastic lure that I've got on my rod while I'm waiting, also I could catch probably not so much whiting, but definitely bream and flathead, mainly, which is what we're fishing for. Oh, okay. Look at that. It's pulling a little bit of line. So this is one of my set lines with the nipper on it. I don't know how big it is. It doesn't feel that big, but this is well, it's pulling though. Look at that. This is a relatively light rod, but it's nice when it bends like that. It's fantastic. I might have to grab the net actually, because I've got light line and I don't want to, oh, I don't believe it. It's Mr. Stingray. Oh, I was not expecting a stingray. Look at him. I'm not going to lift him up. I'm going to net him. Oh, come back here, buddy. Oh, that's annoying. Stingrays obviously like nippers as well. Here he is. Little Mr. Stingray. Well, I'll have to deal with him. There you go. Frustrating. I have a few people make comments on YouTube. They say, why don't you eat the stingrays? I have eaten a couple and they're okay, but not really my preference. Off he goes. Come on, Mr. Fish. No more stingrays, that's what we say. Beautiful. Now, as I always do in a lot of my videos, I don't like to waste time. I do like to relax and sit in a spot, but for example, if I'm peppering this little spot and I don't get any bites in 20-30 minutes, I'm just going to move a little bit because often we know fish swim in schools and often they'll be feeding in different patches, so it pays to move, whether you're on the shore or whether you're in a boat. It pays to just prospect a bit until you locate where there are where there's a nice concentration of fish. Yeah, that's a bite, see? That probably a little bream or something. Maybe I'll pick it up. Yeah, something's having a go. I might not have any bait left. Because nippers are a fairly soft bait. Something small was having a go at that then. Probably no bait left on there. Oh no, got him actually. It's not very big. I don't think it's actually big enough to keep. I'm going to lift it into the boat. It's actually just a small bream again. You can see him there. Actually not a bream, a tarwine, another tarwine. So I'll just pull this tarwine in and get him back in the water. See, often you do get a bunch of small fish while you're waiting for a big one to come. You can see him there. Just I'll whop him back into the water. Off you go, mate. I've decided to move from one spot to another. I was catching a few small fish in that location, but while I'm doing it, I'm actually going to have a little drift. I'm going to toss a nipper out the back of my boat and let this gentle breeze take me, and I'm going to flick a plastic just for a few minutes. So I'm going to whack that nipper out the back, just let a little bit of line out. I'm going to let that gently drag across the bottom while I'm flicking the lure. So that way it's a bit of a double whammy, a bit of a dual purpose. So I'll put that out. So for a few minutes I'm going to toss a lure out while I drift along the edge of this sandbar, and I'm dragging that nipper out the back as well. I fully expect that's going to get nailed. Hopefully the fish will hook itself, and I'll just do a little bit of prospecting. A really enjoyable way to fish. Either way, I just want to quietly sneak up on any potential fish that are here. And the early morning's good because you don't get as much traffic. I'm using a pretty light line here. My reel is actually only a 1,000 sized reel, and it's spooled with 8-pound braid, which I really like because you can cast it so well when you've got a soft plastic with something had to go at my plastic then, but I missed him. I think I better wind it in and check it. But I love it because you can cast a light jig head a long way with the 8-pound braid. You don't need a big reel. I think that was a bream that had to go at my plastic then. Just going to make sure that it's okay, which it is. Oh. Now that hit really hard on this plastic. It's not big. It's probably a baby snapper. It just whacked it really hard. It's only small. Here it comes, but it was quite violent in its take. You can see that's exactly what it is. It is a baby snapper, a tiny little red bream. You can see he's taken that soft plastic. Gee, they whack it hard. Even small fish like this, they really nail it. So you can see I pulled that out, and I'm going to just let him... Oh. He did a pirouette on the way. I got one. Just hooked a fish on this plastic. I think this fish is a flathead. Just by the way it shook its head. I'm just going to see how big it is. I might have to grab my net, it depends. We'll see if he's tiny or if he's an eating size fish. He's got a little bit of weight in him. I'm just gently, yeah, it's actually a bit of weight. Actually more weight than I thought. I think I'm going to need to get the net actually. He's under the boat. Maybe I've hooked him sideways. Just going to grab that net. Thank you, camera person. Where is this fish? I can feel his tail pumping. Yeah, it's bigger than I thought actually. I thought it was a small one. Yep, here he comes. A beautiful fish, actually. On this light gear. I think I've maybe hooked him sideways a little bit. But he's an eating size fish. Yeah, look, I've kind of got him around, my line's caught around the side of his head. So I'm just going to, just going to come under here, get him into the net. This is a beautiful eating size flathead. So I'll just get him off and we'll have a look at him. Going to just use my handy diver's glove. These diver's gloves are great for handling flathead. Always good to have one in the boat. Just going to get this guy out of the net. So he's just a lovely eating sized fish, early 40s in size. You can see that this plastic just pops straight out of his mouth. So that's a beautiful eating sized fish. I don't want to waste time, got to get my bait back. So I want to get my bait back in the water pretty quickly because I'd love to get a couple more of these to take home for a feed. Just quickly, if you've been enjoying my YouTube videos and want to take your fishing to the next level, why don't you join my membership? You'll meet great like-minded people who share their local knowledge, learn smart fishing strategies and gain the skills that turn frustration into confidence. The other major benefit is that I'm only weeks away from releasing my new app, Roger's Fishing Mate, which contains over 50 years of my fishing knowledge and experience. I can't wait to share it with you. Stop wasting money on trial and error and guesswork. Head on over to my website and check it out. Now let's get back to the fishing. I've drifted out a little bit too far from the shore. The wind's done that. I've got to head back in and just reposition myself along the edge. And then there's another spot I'd like to actually anchor up and strategically fish. So I'm just going to sneak back in towards the shore. Better pull my other line in. Forgot about that. Doesn't take long to drift out away from the shore into the deep. I'm going to rebait with another nipper. Put that out the back while I have a flick with the lure while I'm in transit on my way to another spot. Whack you there. Just going to leave a little bit of slack line. Just going to check to make sure I've got no fraying. I just checked my line and there was some fraying from that flathead. So I had to retie the hook, which is always really important to do because the last thing you want to do is toss your line out and have it weakened by a fish's teeth or any kind of weakness that's going to hinder you from catching a fish. So I'm ready to go. I just had a couple of nibbles on that nipper which is dragged along, but I'm just going to have a couple of casts before I put a new nipper on. I'm casting towards the shore and pulling the soft plastic away from the shore towards myself, from the shallow into the deep, kind of replicating a small fish swimming out. So I'm going to have a few casts in here and move on. I'm mixing it up a little bit this morning in search for these bread and butter fish because I've got some lovely fresh bait and also some lures, which is a great combo. It's great to kind of do that. I think it's a good way to go, to have some bait and then also fish with lures as well. Oh, that's a fish. Something has grabbed my nipper that I was dragging along while I'm fishing, using the lure that is. It doesn't feel that big. We'll see what it is, whether it's another flathead or a bream. Okay, it's just a small red bream that took that nipper. Seems to be quite a few of these around, but that's great. It's healthy that there's lots of baby fish because they're going to grow into big ones. Off you go. Now I'm going to move to a different spot. I'm just anchored up on the edge of a drop-off, edge of a sandbar, which I think should hold some fish. I'm going to get my yabby baits out there, or my nipper baits. I always I don't know whether I should call them nippers or yabbies, but I'm just tossing that one over on the edge of this sandbar. And I'll whack him in here. Then I'll get my other line, put one on that as well. Put that one there. Actually, I need to allow some room for myself to fish with the soft plastic, so I've got to put these in these two rod holders. Then I'm going to come over the back, stand up here and have a flick along this edge, which looks very promising. I have the wind at my back. Aha, look at that, my rod, it's going. Okay, I'm on with this one. Oh, it actually feels all right. Yeah, it's fighting a bit. Okay, so it didn't take long for this nipper to get munched. Just bringing it back towards myself. It's swimming towards me. Probably going to need the net. Just going to have a look. Okay, what have I got? Is it a bream or a whiting? That's the question. He's certainly pulling, that's for sure. Okay, I better grab the net. Here he comes, it's a nice bream. Come on, come on. Oh, that was a bit lazy netting then. Okay, so I'm just going to bring him over here. He's woofed that nipper. So that's one of our other species of fish that we love to eat, is your good old Aussie bream. There you go, look at him, he's beautiful. What a beautiful little fish that is. He's only just a bit over legal size, he's maybe 26, 27 centimetres. Ah, my other rod just got a bite. Oh well. Yep, it's going to bite. Oh, what's it going to be? Anyway, I'm going to take this guy off the hook. I want to get my line straight back out in the water. Just thought I'd better check my other line. This one has a fish as well. So that's good. First two casts in this spot. He's not a very big one, so I'm going to let him go undoubtedly. But it's another bream. Come here, buddy. Oop, he's only just lipped. Straight back in. Off you go, mate. Oh, look at that. Man, gee, that hit hard. That thing really whacked this hard and was pulling a bit of line. Don't you love it? How awesome. I think this is probably a really good bream. That's what I think. He's nailed another one of these nippers. It's fighting too much for a whiting, pulling too hard. And it's not a flathead. I'm going to head up this way. Gee, he nailed it. That rod buckled over in the rod holder. I actually cast my line back towards the shore. Here he comes. Look at that. Here he comes. Oh, he's a lovely fish. Look at that. What a cracker. Just a beautiful fish. Here he is. Oh, come on, mate. Look at that. Beautiful bream. It's going to grab the net. He has loved that nipper. Just come in there like that. Oh, what a nice fish. He is. He's a real screamer. Just going to get him out. At least with bream you don't have to be too concerned about being spiked like you do with flathead. He's quite a fat boy, this guy. Look at him, he's a fatty. Whoops. Real fatty. Such an enjoyable thing to do, get up in the morning and go for a bit of a fish. The humble nipper is a fantastic bait. They're easy to catch. You just need a pump. You can buy them in all sorts of places. And you pump them on the shallow sand flats of rivers and lakes, and they're a great bait. In South Africa, they call them pink prawns. They actually get them all the way over there in South Africa. The pink prawn. Oh well, we'll see if we can get another big bream. Get another lovely take like that last one. I'll check my line at the back again. I don't want to have any lines in the water that don't have any bait on them. Yep, this one's got no bait, it's been knocked off. I did bring some frozen prawns out with me as well this morning. Just because it's good to have a few different things. I haven't needed to go or to try the prawns. Just been using the nippers. Haven't caught a whiting yet. Just bream and flathead at this point in time. I think that there was a boat pulling it a bit, but no, it's a fish. Gotcha. Alright, so this is the same rod again that I just tossed out before with a nipper on it. It's gone off again. Actually, it doesn't feel too bad, this fish. It feels like another bream. Must be Bream City in there. Don't think he's quite as big as the last one. A little bit of weight in him. A little bit of fight as well. Yeah, I can see his lovely silver silhouette in the water. Yeah, I think he's a keeper. Yeah, look, there you go, look at that guy. Similar to the last one, actually. get the net out, bring him head first. Always bring fish head first into the net when you net fish. Yeah, he's a lovely fish actually. Just a lovely fish. The nippers are doing the work, I tell you what. Oh yeah, what a nice fish. Like, I hooked him in the same spot that I caught the last bream. Pretty much cast it back in the same spot, same result. So where I'm anchored is, I'm actually anchored on the edge of, I can see a sandbar, I can see where the water's shallow, I can see where it's starting to transition into the deeper water. So I'm casting along that edge where the water goes from shallow into deep. And you know, these are an iconic Australian fish, beautiful to eat, great fun to catch. We actually have bream tournaments in Australia where guys target this species of fish, mainly on lures in the tournaments. But they're an absolutely beautiful Aussie eating fish. So I'm going to flip this one back out in the same sort of spot, back towards the shore. Again, see if I can get another one of those bream. I think part of my bait fell off when I cast out then. It seems to be where the bites are actually, is closer to shore. Just going to check my other line. Still feels like I've got a bit of bait on this one. Yep, it's still got, this nipper hasn't been touched, so I'm going to cast it towards the shore like I was casting the other one. I might get more of a bite over that way. So the bait's been doing the trick the last little while, more so than the soft plastic. I did get that nice flathead on the plastic. Oh, hang on. Oh! Did you see that? I've probably got no bait left on that. It's because the boat was turning a little bit and it was dragging the bait across the bottom as the boat's swinging on anchor. And that often triggers a bite when that, you just get the bait gently dragged across the bottom. That gets the fish excited. So, yep, so I put another nipper on. I'm running low on nippers now. I didn't catch all that many. You don't need a lot. I think I might have caught about 20 nippers. It would have taken me literally 3 or 4 minutes to catch them. Okay, you're going back out there. Yeah, the wind has swung us around a little bit. I don't really mind that much. You can see how that line's going sideways because the boat has changed position. Oh, it's getting a bite. Because the boat, yeah, it's triggered a bite. That little bit of drag. Probably just a small one. Oh, no, yeah, I think it was just a small bream or something. Oh, I've got him. That's strange. I didn't think I had a fish on. This guy's just not quite big enough. Small tarwine. If you'd like a free PDF download of some vital keys from today's session, hit the link in the corner or in the description below. I've had a lot of bites on the nippers this morning. They've been really good. So I'm just going to give it a little bit longer before I head in. I've got a few things to do today. So it was lovely getting up early-ish. I set my alarm this morning for 5:45. I haven't had much of a chance to toss the plastic in this spot because I've been getting all those other bites. And I wanted to just kind of hop it across the edge because I thought I might get another flathead. Gotcha. Just hooked another fish on the plastic, but this just feels like a small bream. So I've caught a couple of bream on the soft plastic this morning, And the flathead, yeah, it's just a small snapper. It just goes to show how versatile, how effective soft plastics are. There you go. Amazing colours on these fish, aren't they? I always love looking at snapper, just those beautiful blue spots, and above his eye, just like he's got a blue eyebrow. Awesome. Off you go, mate. Well, another fish has grabbed my nipper on this set line. What have I got on this one? Feels like a bream, actually. It's not that big. Not as big as the other ones. But another fish. There you go, look at that. Just lift him in. Oops, come here, buddy. He'll be going back to get bigger. Well, it's been really, really enjoyable out here this morning. I've got a few things to do today, so I'm going to head in. Thank you so much for watching. But you know, catching bread and butter species is awesome fun, beautiful to eat. And this morning, I'm not sure which one, the bait or the soft plastics. Got a nice flathead on the soft plastics, a couple of small bream, but I got 3 lovely bream on the nippers. Probably the nippers won this morning. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you very soon in another video.